So I want you to follow along for this part of the video. Let's stand up for a while, do some stretching. Do some stretching. By the end of the video, I'll explain why I asked you guys to do this. Please, I want you to follow along for this bit. And yeah, so walk around for a little bit, walk around your room or wherever you're watching this video. Just stand up for a while, take a few deep breath, and yeah, just live life at the present moment for a moment. So yeah, now that you have done that, uh, I'm gonna explain where I asked you guys to do that later on. But hi, if you watch this video, you're probably someone who are in a pretty crappy situation and you're intrigued by the idea of changing. So I have been researching a little bit, reflecting about my whole life a little bit, because changing is actually quite simple. There's only 3 plus 1 element that you really need to do to change. And that's how I came from becoming someone like this to this. And this will probably be one of the only few times I will bring up pictures, because I really want you guys to really sink in what I'm about to explain. Because yeah, as you can see from the previous picture, the most obvious change that you see is probably appearance. But other than that, it is only very surface level. And I'm going to explain the few things that you need to change to essentially have a better life. In my opinion, the life I have right now is better than what I had last time. So I'm going to explain it in a list, and it is in a chronological order from the easiest to the hardest thing to do. So like what I said earlier, is a 3 plus 1. So the most important component is this 3 that I'm going to mention. But the final bonus point is something that you can do, and it is very impactful and very beneficial for your life and for you as a person in general. So let's get started. Like what I said earlier, the most obvious one is the change of appearance, and that is the simplest one to do. See, most teachers or most gurus will just say something so basic like hit the gym, and hitting the gym is the most important thing out there. Yes, that is true. I agree with that completely. That is the foundation. It changed my life. Hitting the gym, working out, gaining some discipline changed my life. Don't get me wrong. But the most no-brainer change that, in my opinion, feels like a switch overnight. I gain more confidence, and I just my own belief about myself also changed, is when I changed how I look. Not only from the muscle that I gain, which I will say I gain a little bit, not the craziest, but it's when I changed my hairstyle and I changed my fashion sense. Previously, let's talk about fashion first. Previously, I will only wear whatever my dad asked me to wear, which is like t-shirt and jeans. And it is the most average looking look ever. It's the default Asian boy look. And yeah, it's hard to be confident when you're not happy about what you're wearing. But I don't even really understand what I'm wearing. I just listen to what my father asked me to wear. So yeah, fashion, take some time to learn about it. It is not that complicated. You just need to get a few idea. You don't need to be like a super confident or like super crazy with color matching and all that stuff. You only need to understand neutral coloring and then texture matching and all that stuff. Then you will probably look good already after that. And then the second thing you have to learn, in my opinion, like what I said just now, is the appearance and hairstyle. No, which is fashion and hairstyle. The second point is hairstyle. Just watch some 12 pal video. They are barber YouTube. They're barber YouTuber. So it's just a bunch of barber coming together and make some YouTube videos. Learn about face shape and hairstyle, and then learn about your hair texture, how you can style it better, and find the style that you want and learn how to make that style from your hairstyle. That is like the most essential and the most important thing you have to learn from like hairstyle in general. Okay, if you still stay along for this video, you probably want to change more than just your appearance. appearance is just the surface level. You can look good, but if your act and your behavior and your belief is still the same, you're essentially just the same person but different skin. Maybe you can get a few more attention here and there, but still ultimately it is so surface level and there's still many rooms of improvement. So the second point that I would like to talk about, which is more, which is harder, and but it is gonna be more beneficial for you as an individual, which is habits. You can learn a lot from the book called Atomic Habits. Personally, I haven't read that book yet. I'm just gonna be honest, but I just seen reviews and seen people talk about it, the whole idea of habit, and I would say once I started hitting the gym, that built discipline um and implement that whole idea about how habits, how small wins, how small action can lead to big change. So yeah, habits. Let me see what I wrote down. Um, so one thing about habit that I realized is that like it's easier to get rid of something than to add something on top of what we have. By doing that, we have more space for other good habits. So to simplify what I just explained, it is basically if you still have so many bad habits in a day, you only have so many energy and so many time. If you have so many bad habits and if you still have so many habits that is not helping you, then there's no space and you feel like it's impossible to do any other good habits. That's why you have to get rid of it. When you get rid of it, naturally, the good habits, there's just more space for the good habits. And habits, the pilation of habits will lead to the third point, which is belief. But before that, to end off the habit point, habit is, yeah, that is the first step to the new realm of changing other than just appearance, because we are trying to be someone that's multi-dimension. You want to be a well-rounded person, not just like looks wise. So learning some good habits, you can pick up habits of working out, like that also helps your appearance. And I believe most people that started self-improvement, that's the first habit that they do, which is to work out. And you can find any other good habits like reading. That's the thing that I started recently too. I cannot deny that I have been putting this habit off for quite some time because lazy. I don't find it fun. But what helped me keep this habit going is also I changed how I see reading. I don't see it as like a task that I have to do, but I see it as a pursuit of knowledge, which is something that I am very interested about. I enjoy learning very much. So yeah, find how you can implement new habit in your life, because each people have their different way of interest and perspective. But the one core lesson from habits that I want you to, the point habit that I want you to absorb is that like it can feel impossible to start new habit. That's why you gotta get rid of some of the bad habits. All right, the final point is belief. This is on the more spiritual side. I am not the most spiritual person out there, but the whole idea is that like us human, when we interact with people, we radiate energy. At least is from what I understand. And when we radiate energy, the energy we radiate, 50% or even more, in my opinion, is come from your own belief about yourself. And to strengthen your belief is from the habit that you've been doing. So sorry about that. The video got cut off, but yeah, belief is very powerful because it radiates energy when you interact with people. Ultimately, we humans are social individuals. We need to interact, and whatever interaction we have with people, we are radiating some form of energy. And the belief you have about yourself is the energy that you radiate to people. That's the simplest way I can explain. I'm trying my best to keep this video as simple as possible, so you can understand and directly can implement it in your life. So by building new habit, you have to build new by building new belief, you have to first build habits, and that will be the evidence. So it is gonna amplify your belief about yourself. One quote that I like is that like self-respect is the easiest to destroy but the hardest to build. And to build it, it is the hardest to build because you have to have habit backing it up so you can have a new respect for yourself. So before I go on the final point, I would like to talk a little bit about why I asked you guys to stand up. And I asked you guys to stand up previously is because I want you to take action. Like have the habit of taking action and starting things, or like whatever you learn, test it for yourself and implement it for yourself. You cannot change if you don't take action. Let's just be honest. You can learn as much as possible, but if you don't have action, there's no change. Action equal to change. Big action equal to big change. As simple as that. So I hope that you can take action from what you learn from this video. Don't just watch and learn. And yeah, ultimately it's not gonna affect so much if you don't do anything about anything. If you don't do anything in general. So yeah, the bonus point I would like to talk about is wait, let me see what I wrote down now. So, yeah, the final point I would like to talk about is environment. This is tricky because it is the hardest in terms of investment. But if you have the money, or if you have the resources to do it, then I would highly suggest you to do it. Because changing of environment is big. You know why I mentioned that appearance is the easiest to do, and it's like a no-brainer to just change your hairstyle and your fashion? Is because whenever you meet someone, when you change, they kind of have a reset of your impression. Honestly speaking, how people treat you is just a bunch of how they stems from their impression of you as a person when they first met you. And people won't change their impression of you so easily. Why? Because it is uncomfortable for them to believe that you've changed. People like to be comfortable. That's why, like when you, that's why like this final point, which is environment. If you can change your environment, is the biggest. It will impact you the most. Not only in terms of you're gonna start learning more because you're in a new, complete different space, but you are forced to change your habit. You're forced to, after changing habit, like what I said, it leads to change of belief, and then because you're meeting so many new people, so in a way you are, the appearance you have change. So I was, let's say, the final point is like the combination of all that three, but it requires a lot of like resources or like money to do that. And the final takeaway I would like to say from this video is the points I made earlier, the 3+1 is the simplified form of what you need to for you to change. And that change, I believe I changed quite a lot in from that two picture. And the time it takes me to get from that to that picture earlier is roughly around 2 years, I think. I first started working out. I first started like exercising, try to gain muscle and try to look better in general. But it helps in terms of discipline and confidence. But the biggest no-brainer switch is like is the hairstyle and my fashion. But still, I don't aim to be a one-dimensional person that just look good, but on its core is still the same person. So that's why I implement habits, and I, after habit, I have a new belief for myself, and it's just keep on rolling after that. If you watch to this point of video, I would like to say one more lesson. You know how people say you can spiral down? Spiraling up is also a thing. You can spiral up too. So yeah, keep questioning about life, enjoy the process, and yeah, that's it from this video. Peace.